it's fantastic too, no? I think, and it's
Uh-huh.
delicious.
Yeah, that's it. It's wonderful how they can make such a quantity of combinations, and they are delicious even if it is prepared with chili and sugar. So I didn't think that the
Yes, teacher.
combination of
And
chili and sugar could be good.
teacher, it's for example in this country, the American people they like too much test different flavors. For example, in the drinks, in the foods, in the different flavors in, for example, in the beer.
Uh-huh.
It's a characteristic for this uh, community, or I don't know, well, the American people,
Uh-huh.
because they like too much the sweet flavors, or in the drinks, for example, the tequilas. In this country, you can look many different tequilas, the mango, the piña, de fresa, con limón.
Uh-huh.
You say, oh my goodness, tequila is tequila, no?
Uh-huh. But you know
But
what?
for,
Yes.
yes, for these persons, for this market, they like too much the combinations with other flavors and sugars and whatever.
Uh-huh. Even you know what? When I went to Indiana, I remember that I bought a can. Yes, it was a can of beans.
Mhm.
I was very happy because I found beans with bacon. And I said, and frijoladas. But guess what?
Mhm.
They were sweet beans. And I didn't like
Yes,
it. I
teacher.
said, what is it?
They they eat the honey beans.
Uh-huh.
Honey beans.
And I
I don't
didn't
like that.
like it.
I prefer my regular beans.
Uh-huh. No, I don't like it either. I didn't like it. I bought 3 cans, but I opened one, I tasted them, and the other ones I didn't want to eat them. So I gave to my friend, I said, here you are some beans that I found in the market. And she said, wow, thank you. And I said, thank you. Well, thank you for you because I don't like them. All right.
Yes.
Okay. So, you know what? Today we are going to have a very interesting topic. We are going to talk about inventions and discoveries now that we are talking about new flavors. And so, the question
Mhm.
is, how different has life been from the ancient past to the modern era? Francisco, what do you think about this?
About what? Excuse me, I was distracted.
It's okay, don't worry. I was talking about the difference in life from the ancient past to the modern era. Do you consider that it was too different or not much?
Um, it it was too different in many ways. For example, as seen in the pictures, in the past times, we had to hunt for survival, and we didn't know how to, how do you say, cosechar?
Grow.
We didn't know how to grow food,
Uh-huh.
or didn't know any grains. So the food was a problem, and shelter was another one.
That's it. Okay, yes. Thank you very much. What do you mean when you say shelter?
When I say shelter, I mean a place to be in for living, maybe, but
Mhm.
we were nomads,
Uh-huh.
so wasn't really a problem.
Yeah, that's it. Why do you consider that it was a problem?
I consider it a problem because of the dangers of the era,
Mm-hmm. All
of
right.
the age.
The Stone Age.
Okay, dangers like predators or another animals that hide in, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you're right. So we had to be escaping, running away all of the time from the animals.
Yes, and the life was a lot harder because of that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I totally agree with you. Thank you very much. Okay, so Paloma, what do you think about it?
Well, teacher, I think in this era, it was difficult, very difficult for the people who living in this time. First, for the weather. Second, for the big animals, and third, for the conditions they about they have their houses.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was a big problem to obtain food because only they take food for when they kill some any animals or because they don't have the knowledge about the crops.
Uh-huh.
I think, teacher, I think that, and well, they have the fighter. It's a good point in that time. And well, teacher, I think it was a very difficult living in this in this time.
Uh-huh, that's it. All right. So you know what? Here we have in the second image. Of
Hmm.
course, it was not a serious picture. It was kind of, well, it was a stage. It was a scene of the movie picture The Caveman, and it was starred by Ringo Starr. Here you are, Ringo Starr, the drummer of the Beatles, and
Hmm.
here you are, Dennis Quaid. They
Hmm.
are actors, but in a very comic way, in a very funny way, they described how was life in the ancient past, how they collected their food, and how they organized in groups for hunting, for collecting. So yes, it's very interesting, and I also consider it had been so hard, so difficult. Okay, so look at
Teacher, and I think
this.
I'm sorry, teacher. I
No,
think if I have an idea, this movie they uh, how I say grabaron record
it was recorded.
recorded in Mexico, teacher.
Yes, it was. It was recorded in Mexico.
Mhm.
It was,
Yes, I do. I like that. I like that
uh,
movie.
and you know what? The recording of that movie was very good for Mexico because, according to the law, whenever a company comes to Mexico to make a film, they are obligated to hire, to contract Mexican actors also.
Uh-huh.
So it was a opportunity
Okay.
for some Mexican actors to participate in an international film like this.
Wow. Oh, it's good.
Yeah, so it was good. All right. So, of course, the real eggs were not as giant as this one. This was exaggerated. This is not real. But anyway, it was an example that they had to organize in groups for looking for food. Okay. And so, Francisco, what do you think about the differences between the way we get food now and the way they used to do it in the past?
The main difference, I think, it was the difficulty, and as we have to gather in small groups, I think we need to take a specific role in the group. I don't know how we communicate in that time, so it can be harder than we thought.
Yeah, so that we could have that organization. Of course, we needed communication. Yes, you're right.
And nowadays, isn't that difficult? Nowadays, we can go to a supermarket, to a local market, and buy whatever we want.
Yes, that's it. You're right. Yes, I totally agree with you. And so, what about the dangers that they faced? Nowadays, do we have to face any danger when we go to get some food? For example, I don't know, meat?
Nowadays, I can't name a couple. So, for example, to take care and not to pick up meat with that has been for a time in the place.
That's it.
Yeah, to evade intoxication.
Some poisoning.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. That's something that. Yes, please.
Se dice food intoxication.
Food poisoning.
Food poisoning. Okay.
Yes, that's it. You're right. Okay, Paloma, what do you think about this? What are the dangers?
About the food, teacher?
Yeah, what are the dangers that we face now?
Well, teacher, the dangers is they don't know when the food it was good or bad. Only I think only for when they smell, maybe they can identify if the food or something they want to eat it was have good conditions. About the dangers is all time present in that time teacher. The dangers is when the big animals around the aldeas. I mean, I have the idea they around aldeas.
Villages.
Okay, and they around that, and in that moment that the people was in risk. Other risk teacher I think is for example on the days when the sunlight is intense.
So intense.
So I think is other risk for that people, because they don't have to they use a few clothes and
they wore.
And yes. Another risk teacher is, for example, when the volcanoes have activity.
Uh-huh.
And if they are living close to some volcanoes, they have a risk too. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how many risks they had in this time, teacher. I think many risks, many
Uh-huh.
risks.
Uh,
And depends about teacher depends too about what kind of animals they have close to them, because some animals no they no was how do you say fire ferocious uh,
Fears.
fierce, but others yes.
Mm-hmm. Some of them were the predators. So the
Yes,
predators,
the
so
predator.
they were really, really dangerous. Okay, very good, Paloma. Thank you very much. Now, look at this.
You're welcome.
Let's go to another image. Give me a moment. Here we are. Ta-da! Look at this. What are the differences about the way that we got food in the past and the way that we do it now? For example, in here you can see some people who are shopping. So is it similar or is it different, and how and why? What about
Well, teacher, I think it's a little different.
just a little?
Just a little, yes, teacher, because the ladies have a little clothes, no? The difference is maybe the colors and the circumstance, maybe, no? But the other, I think every person enjoy that moment, no?
That's it. Okay, thank you, Paloma. Francisco, what do you think about the differences?
Okay. Um, so the difference now is that we just have to head to a shop, to a food local, and ask for anything we want. So, for example, a hot dog, a hamburger, and we just have to wait a couple of minutes, and we have it in our hands.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
And in the past, you can't, for example, you can't ask an animal, may I kill you because I need your meat to survive. No, that's not was.
It was not a good idea, I
Yeah.
think. Yes, of course not. Okay, yes, you're right. Okay, so yes, there are many differences about the way we used to get our food and now the way we do it. We do it now. All right, so please, let's go to the next image. You know what? It is going to be really interesting. Ta-da! Here you are. In your opinion, what are the most important inventions? Here we are, some of the greatest inventions in all the times. Okay, so please, Paloma, help me. Tell me, what's your opinion about the most important inventions and why?
Well, teacher, I think each one are important, but in my in my opinion, in my opinion, the fire is the most important invention,
Why?
because with the fire you can keep your house warm, you can cook your food, your dishes, you can eat different kind of food with the fire, and because the fire give the open the door for other inventions. For example, the barco de vapor, the how do you say in English, teacher? Ship.
The steam engine.
Yes, steam.
Engine.
Can you repeat me, please, teacher?
Oh, yes, of course. It's the steam engine. I'm going to write it for you. It's the
See, okay, thank you.
steam
System
engine.
engine. Okay, that and the next was other is the las I forget the word teacher, las fábricas
Factories.
the factories for made different articles or different items need to the fire
Mm-hmm.
for the for it is very important to the fire for the metals for
Mm-hmm.
give other functions for the metals for the carbon for minerals and
Coal.
I
Carbon. Coal.
carbon
Coal.
carbon and I okay cool. And well in my opinion this is, in my opinion is the most important is the fire the next is maybe in the the um, the wheel
Uh-huh. Good.
the, the wheel and well teacher each one have a interesting histories and important reasons.
That's it. All right. Thank you very much, Paloma. Francisco,
You're
what
welcome.
do you think about the most important inventions?
Okay. For me, the most important inventions um, were the fire, electricity, paper,
Mm-hmm.
and clothing.
Hey, that's great. Why? Please tell us your reasons.
First, I have to talk about fire. Um, I love that mythic story about Prometheus and how they stole the fire from the gods.
Wow.
And it's an interesting one because he dares to face the gods to to stole them as excuse me um, an important value for them, and the importance of fire now is bigger than no other invention, because we can eat because of that. We can survive outdoors. Um, Also, we can, how do you say, hacer las cosas funcionan?
Make things work.
We can make things work thanks to it.
Uh-huh, that's it.
Next, the paper. If I'm not wrong, it was a Chinese invention,
Mm-hmm.
and I I don't need to say how important it is to us nowadays.
Uh-huh, that's it.
But well,
Yes,
that's it.
was it an Egyptian, no, a Chinese invention or an Egyptian one? I don't remember, but I think that Egyptians had also very important inventions. I don't remember very well, but
Um,
yes.
Maybe it was Egyptian. I remember the gunpowder, for example, as a Chinese invention,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe the paper was an Egyptian one because of the papyrus. How do you say
Uh-huh.
papyrus in English?
Papyrus.
Yeah, that things. Uh, so we don't know, and it is a double-edged weapon
Mm-hmm.
nowadays because we killed a lot of trees to make some sheet papers.
Uh-huh, some paper sheets.
Yeah,
Yes, you're right. And we are finishing with our beautiful house that is the world.
Yes. That was the most important inventions for me.
All right. Excellent. Thank you very much. So, you know what? Here I would like to talk to you about this invention. I consider that it is also a very important one because do you know what it is?
Solar clock.
Aha, that's it. That's the sun clock. Nowadays, we organize our lives because of the time and in relation, our activities are in relation with time. We have to be punctual and we have a time for waking up, a time for going to school, a time for eating, a time for sleeping, a time for watching television, and a time for watching or to see our friends. My goodness, time regulates our lives. So, and even we are here in Mexico having a discussion because of the time, because of the summer schedule that it's going to start in April, I guess. And we are protesting and we are saying, no, we don't want the summer schedule to happen again, cancel it. So time regulates our lives. Okay, and so what do you think about this other invention? Ta-da! Do you know what it is?
It's a toilet.
Ah, that's it. It's a WC. Do you know the origin of WC?
I don't even know what WC means.
No, teacher.
Oh, that's very interesting. I am going to write it for you. It is that's it. It's a water cleaner. It's WC.
Oh, okay.
And it was because, well, the importance of this discovery, no, not the discovery, this invention was that people time ago used to go to the bathroom, but in enormous holes that we used to dig on the ground. And so it was very insane because many people got sick because of those conditions. So somebody invented a tank. This is the real invention, not the WC itself. The real invention was this one, the tank with a lever. So it releases some water so that this part can be clean and we can be healthier. It is for hygiene. So I think that was also a very important invention. Also,
Yes, teacher. I'm sorry, teacher, but some countries in I don't know if Ireland or I don't remember exactly what countries they continue using the hose.
that's what I was going to say. Yes, in some countries, people continue using those. Even, for example, in China, they go to the bathroom and they don't have the water cleaner. They just have holes.
In India too.
And well, nobody dies because of that, but maybe we are used to that invention and it's more comfortable for us. It is part of our culture.
In Japan, for example, they have to use a hole-based WC. But because of the how do you say seismic activity? That because of that.
The seismic activity.
Yeah.
Why? I don't understand why.
I don't know so well, but maybe because of the water that it it's in the tank, maybe it can splash or something like that.
Ah, that's it.
Yeah.
It may be. Let me turn my microphone off just a minute, please, because the Tamil person is coming. I'm so sorry. Thank you very much. You know what? This is the time that every day in front of my house, it passes a person who is selling tamales, and I really like it. But I don't like the recording of my class with that sound. That's why I try to turn the microphone off. And every day,
Don't worry, teacher.
I think it's very common in Mexico.
aha, and it's so delicious. I really love even the sound.
Teacher, I miss it. I miss it that.
Oh yeah, you miss it. Maybe
For
one day.
example, teacher, you before, excuse me, teacher, you before talk about the sound clock. For example, now I have 2 hours more late about you. I don't know if it's correct my
Later,
sentence,
two
but
hours later.
later, yes, later. Yes, you have 8:39, and I have time. My time is 10:40.
My goodness.
And oh, is this the question? No, how one clock can take the decision what time is for you and what time is for me? No, it's
Mm-hmm.
So you live in
it's
where,
like
Paloma?
about.
Excuse me.
I'm living in Pennsylvania, in United States,
Oh, okay.
and we changed the clock the first Sunday to March. No, the second Sunday
Okay.
in March, and it is the my question, no. For example, you have 2 hours less, no,
Yes.
and to me, say, oh my goodness, this some is a sunlight time, or I don't know how you say
Uh-huh.
summertime. I don't like that.
Summertime.
I don't like
That's
that.
that's the fault of the people who invented the usos horarios.
That's it. Who dared? It is tremendous.
I know.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, but I think that it just depends on the time that the sun rises or the sun goes up. But oh my, it is so difficult. You know what? I am against the summer schedule here in Mexico. I pronounce myself against that change because it is not good. I insist. It
Yes.
Teacher, and for example, we have our clock inside the body, no? Our
uh-huh.
body have their time.
The
It's a
biological clock.
the
Yes,
biological
yes,
clock.
and biology clock, and our body now, what time they need to do something or whatever and functions inside, no, and then you add the new ideas and new political regulation or whatever, and you take off 2 hours
Mm-hmm.
every day, you know. And I say, hey, wow, why? Tell me why, no? We have a one clock, no? Only you let the clock, regular clock or normal clock, continue working, and whatever you can do it, no? Teacher is very well. for example, your body has the biological time. If
That's it.
you take off 2 hours and you say no, not for example to me 10:43, and I say no, it is not 43, it's 8:43 because your body knows it's 8:43, no?
Yes,
But
that's it.
it is the desk. I don't know if it's in English correct. This control.
This control.
This control. It's normal. We feel tired. We feel different. We have, and maybe you feel sometimes hungry. I don't know. No.
Mm-hmm. And we feel sick. We feel sick because of that change.
Teacher, you lost 1 hour every day. For example, you lost 1 hour when you change the time. You lost 1 hour every day. And for me it's 2 hours. When I changed to the country, it was 2 hours and continue with 2 hours lost. And you add 1 hour or 2 hours every day for many years, you don't know how many hours you lost every year.
You're right.
It's very interesting, teacher. It's very interesting, but have other problems for the
Yeah.
health.
But you know what? I have also heard that that time that we lose is never to be recovered. So even though we take a nap or we take a cat nap or whatever, we don't recover the time that we are losing.
Yeah, that's
No,
true.
never, teacher.
That's a pity. But anyway, I pronounce myself against the change of schedule. I am going to do a meeting or something like that because I don't want to change my clothes. My clock.
Oh,
My
Miss,
clock says the same.
Not my clothes, my clock.
Clock.
Oh, yes. No, I don't want to do it. All right. So, you know what? We are going to talk now about something so interesting. Here we go. Give me a moment. Ta-da! Aha! How have machines contributed to make life easier? I am not talking only about the washing machine or the dishwasher. I am talking about all the machines we customary use. So what do you think about it? For example, for you, Javier, have machines contributed to make your life easier?
oh yes, definitely. Um, First, I have to talk about the steam engine. In that time, I think it was on the 18th century, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the name of the man who did this, but it contributed to do our lives easier, to make our lives easier by how do you say agilizar?
To ease.
To ease some activities like um, heading from one point to another, um, building things in the food industry too, by for example, by canning the food.
To preserve it.
Yes. Another one is as well, it's just my thought, but I think it was the television.
Why?
Because of the news. The news, before that we have to search it in newspapers, for example, but no all the big news was in just one newspaper. You have to read, I don't know, maybe 3 of them, and now we have, how do you say, noticieros?
News.
We have the news daily with the most important things that happens every day.
Yes, that's it. In the daily news, you can see all the events, even the international events.
Yeah.
So we can know about what happens in some other countries. Hey, that's it. All right, thank you very much. So, Paloma, what do you think about machines? Have they contributed to make our life easier?
Oh, of course, teacher. They contribute for our easier life and saving. For example, saving water. And so I talk about the washer machine. I don't know if what is the washer machine, teacher? The dishes
No,
or
this
the
is
clothes?
the wash machine, and this is the dishwasher.
Oh, dishwasher, yes, teacher. Well, the both are good for us because well the dishwasher, I don't think that machine clean very well the dishes. I think that machine esteriliza. ¿Cómo se dice with
Sterilizes,
the word, teacher? Esteriliza.
sterilizes.
Sterilizes the dishes, sterilizes the dishes, and not exactly clean because some dishes when have the food, for example, sticky or too much grease, don't clean very well, and you need to give the second clean, no? But it's good because saving water, teacher.
That's it.
Saving water. The other for the clothes, it's good too, teacher, because wash the clothes is heavy.
Too much.
If you come back to the 40 years or 60 years ago, many people wash the clothes in the lavaderos.
Yes, by hand.
I don't know the word. Yes, by hand, and it was a hard work.
Too much.
For example, other machine, it's a yes, other machine now help us, and I think it's excellent. It's the refrigerator.
Yes,
The
yes.
refrigerator it's excellent too for maintains our food.
To preserve our food.
Preserve the food. Yes, teacher.
Yes, that's it.
And well, we don't talk about the cell phone, teacher, because this is other work.
Yeah, and even whenever we talk about the cell phone, to be honest, I don't know if it has been an advantage or a damage.
Maybe not the cell phone.
Have the both.
Yeah, okay. I beg you, Francisco.
Yeah, maybe you're referring to the smartphone.
The smartphone, yes. Yes, I'm referring to the smartphone because nowadays of course, it is very useful, but we have created certain dependence on the smartphones, and we are even changing our lives in a different way because now we don't communicate as we used to do it time ago. I remember that I used to go to see my friends and take a cup of coffee to them. Nowadays, I just send them an emoticon by WhatsApp, and that's all.
That's funny.
Teacher, now the cell phones control our lives.
You know what? Let me tell you
with
what.
everything.
Yeah. You know what? I used to have a boyfriend, but whenever my boyfriend discovered the WhatsApp, I lost him because I have never seen him again. So
Oh.
That's a sad one.
yeah, he used to come to visit me, but when he had a cell phone with a WhatsApp, he used to say, Maggie, I'm fine. Maggie, I love you. Maggie, I will visit you when I finish my duties. But that time never came.
Mm.
So, you know what? I don't like cell phones because I lost my boyfriend because of the WhatsApp.
Yeah, the cell phones are the guilty, teacher.
As
They
you say,
are.
means that's a pity.
All right. Well, and tell me, if you were inventors, what do you consider you would invent? What's your idea about the new necessities that we have to cover?
Wow, teacher. This is a big question.
That's a very.
Maybe I invent something about the help to
I
the
I would
people
invent.
who have a. I would invite something about help to people who have uh, uh, heal uh, um,
Health
heal
problems.
or health problems or teacher is health or heal
Health.
health. Okay, that.
Health problems. Okay.
Something about the something about that, teacher.
Kind of like a machine or a vaccination, a treatment, a medicine.
Maybe a machine. I would
Wow.
like a machine. For
Hey,
example, many persons have problems with the hands or with the arms, and they need to help for that. Need help other person help them, and something about that. Maybe some persons born they are body and they can move it.
yes, you're right.
Something about that.
All
Mhm.
right. Well, thank you very much. That's very nice, Paloma. All right. So what about you, Francisco?
Oh, okay. Have you ever heard about um, Google's I forgot algorithm?
Yes.
Yes. So and that can be helpful in another way by helping our technological devices to control our times in the web or in the different apps, and that's happening right now. If I remember, in the 9 version of Android, there are apps that measures the time you use it, and
Oh,
maybe it can cut the access to it if you pass the time.
wow. Hey, that would be very useful not only for adolescents, for teenagers, but also for some adults because we are dependent on the
Yes.
social nets.
And I think if that can be applied in a neurological way, in a personal way for each one of us, it can be a lot helpful.
Hey, that's great. And that's very interesting, you know. I have never heard about it. But it's so interesting.
Yeah, because the big enterprises, they don't want to get us out of the net.
Uh-huh.
Not
That's
anytime
it.
soon.
Uh-huh, yes, you're right. Wow. Hey, thank you very much. That's so interesting and so important also. All right. Well, you know what? I think that we could be talking for a long more time about this because it is so interesting. But I guess that time is over. So I don't know if you want to say any other comment, to ask any question.
Yeah, I had an opinion about this topic.
Yes.
Not an opinion, a contribution.
Okay.
So then the question what was?
Well, the first question was, how do you consider that technology has contributed to make our life easier?
Um, I I want to talk about a machine that was so important for our development. It was the I don't know how to say it in English. Imprenta,
The printing.
the printing. So the printing machine, we have been using it for centuries, and before that, people or writers they had to write every book by hand, and I don't even realize how difficult it was for them. It can even um, write 20 books in a week, and, and after the printing machine,
Uh-huh. The printer.
the printer, we have the ability to print even 1,000 copies in a week.
You know what? I consider that it is really important what you said because time ago we didn't have access to culture because there were not books. There were not enough books. But later on, whenever the printing was invented, there were more books and more people had the opportunity of reading, of learning how to read
Yeah,
because there was no need to
they
learn
don't
how to
even
read.
how. Yes,
So culture was spread. Hey, thank you very much. You know what? It was really interesting.
thanks.
Okay. Well, I thank you very much for your attendance, for your attention, and of course, for your brilliant participation. So meet you next class. Have a very good week, and thank you very much. Good night.
Good
Good
night,
night.
teacher.
Thank you, teacher.
See
Thank
Thank you,
you.
you.
Francisco. Good night.
See you
Thank you.
next
Bye.
class.
Bye. The same.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.